What's good, YouTube? How y'all doing out there? It's your boy Jeremy from Smith Family TV, and today we have Mike Korzima. I don't know how to say his last name. I'm sorry if I butchered your last name, bro. But it's Jimmy Butler, Michael Jordan's son. Hold on, I don't think y'all hear me though. I said it's Jimmy Butler, Michael Jordan's son. Now, I done been saying Jimmy looked like Mike for the longest, before it was even trending. Like, a trending topic. Like, I've been saying that. And then once it got popping, it was like, I wasn't the only one thinking like this. Now, it's a lot of facts that I'm pretty sure he's gonna state that I already know. But they, as good as they sound, it kind of just sounds off, like, at the same time. But you never know. So we'll see what Mike has to say. Everything needs to know in the description box below. I may be late on this video. A lot of you might have seen this already, but if you want to go watch the video on its original from its original creator, the link to it will be in the description box below, as well as Mike's channel link, so you could go over there and subscribe to him. He makes all types of videos like this, just different conspiracy theories and stuff, like who's the GOAT and all this stuff like that. So if you're into that stuff, make sure you go over there and subscribe to his channel. But without further ado, let's get into this video.
In the 2020 NBA playoffs, Jimmy Butler has been absolutely unreal.
He was busting their ass.
He helped to carry the Miami Heat all the way to the NBA Finals with his leadership and incredible ability to rise up in the clutch. And after an NBA Finals Game 3, in which Jimmy recorded a 40-point triple-double, led the Heat to a win without their second and third best players, and outplayed both LeBron James and Anthony Davis in the process, Jimmy left us all with a familiar feeling. It was as if we've seen this before. And you know what I'm talking about. That competitiveness, that absolute lack of fear when attacking the basket, the will to never let up and instead lead his team to a finals win. In Game 3, Jimmy Butler certainly looked Jordan-esque, which brings up a very, very interesting rumor, because if we look closer,
I wouldn't say Jordan-esque.
When compared to Michael Jordan, we are suddenly at the beginning of one of the NBA's craziest.
That doesn't look that close.
Jimmy Butler looks similar to Michael Jordan. In fact, these two pictures look near identical.
Yeah.
When we look at Jimmy Butler's backstory, well, is it possible?
Those two, yeah.
Jimmy Butler's actual father.
Talk to me, Mike.
So, what's up, guys? Mike here, and today we are back with the conspiracy. Trust me, I have seen the comments. I know you guys have wanted another conspiracy video, and this is a big one. I mean, of course, if Jimmy Butler is actually Michael Jordan's son, that might be the craziest story the NBA has ever seen. And the thing is, this conspiracy is not coming out of nowhere. There is actually a ton of speculation that does connect Jimmy and Jordan. You're not going to want to miss a second of this video, because trust me, things get crazy. Also, I do want to make this clear right now. Even if you don't believe in this conspiracy, that is perfectly okay, because remember, this is just a conspiracy. It's something
true.
That's fun to dive into and talk about the possibilities, but it's also something you can think is completely wrong. I do want to say though, make sure to watch the entire video before coming to a decision.
Alright, bro, can we get started?
Like this video, it helps
Damn, Mike.
the YouTube algorithm, and thank you guys so much for killing it with likes lately. I appreciate it a ton. Trust me, it really does mean a lot. Also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button and turn notifications on so you never miss a new video. And now let's take a look at this insane conspiracy. So
he petty as hell.
I'm going to present you with the straight facts and evidence and hearsay for this conspiracy, so that you are able to get the full story here, and then after we have covered everything, both of us can come to a decision on the truth. You can decide for yourself and comment what you think down below, and I'll give my thoughts to end.
I stopped listening for a minute. He talking a little too much right now. Can we get into the story?
Which means we have to go back in time to February of 2016, when Torres Owens, the self-proclaimed #1 sports gossip blog in the world, received this to it read, "The child out of wedlock." Michael Jordan would not claim unwanted child in 1988 in fear of destroying marriage. Child took on mother's name of Butler. It was reported he paid mother off so he would not tarnish his public image and legacy and role model figure. After 13 years, mother kicked child out of the household because payments stopped. Report from, and then the source is blank here, which would make sense. That is standard protocol. If someone gives a journalist a tip like this and wants to remain anonymous, the journalist is certainly supposed to respect that fact. That is how they keep their integrity. So with that report in mind, we have another report that states Jordan had a kid with a woman at or around the time Butler was conceived. It was well documented and is even reported that he tried to sneak into the hospital and that she received 23 roses while in the delivery room. 23 roses, of course Michael Jordan's number is 23. Here we are, the seeds have been planted for the Jimmy Butler is Michael Jordan's son conspiracy. Now, with these two statements in mind, if you did not know, Jimmy Butler's dad was never a part of his life, as it has been said that Jimmy's father left his family when Jimmy was just a baby. It is also well documented that when he was 13, Jimmy's mom kicked him out of the house with the words, "I don't like the look of you, you gotta go." That is incredibly harsh and horrible, but in terms of this tip, the pieces could theoretically fit here, especially when you consider that at least publicly, it is not known who Jimmy Butler's father is. In fact, if you go and Google Jimmy Butler's real father right now,
Michael come up.
all you get is Michael Jordan conspiracies, which means this theory has at least a little credibility to start out with because we do not know Jimmy Butler's father at all. But really, the most promising piece of evidence we have is this picture. The picture that turns this from an outlandish claim to something that is at least worth looking into. Because as you can see, when both Michael Jordan and Jimmy Butler's faces are
That shit wild as hell.
like the same person. Going further here, when we look at Jeffrey and Marcus, Michael Jordan's confirmed sons, we see that Jimmy looks more like Michael than they do. On top of that,
And he's better.
Mike was listed at 6'6", while Jimmy is listed at 6'7". A very similar height, while Jeffrey is just 6'4", and Marcus is just 6'1". Weird. And as for the entire story attached to this claim, well, that would make sense too. Michael Jordan was already with his then girlfriend and future wife, Juanita Vanoy, at the time that Jimmy would have been conceived, and Michael and Juanita already had a son, Jeffrey, in 1988. Seeing as Jimmy was born in 1989, it would make sense that if Michael Jordan did value his reputation and image over raising a child he had out of wedlock, along with the fact that he would want to keep his relationship with Juanita intact, Mike could have paid Jimmy's mother to not say anything, as at this point, Michael Jordan was a role model to millions, and having the label as an unfaithful cheater attached to him, well, that would massively damage his reputation, to say the least. As for the logistics here, as we'll call them, well, Jimmy Butler was born on September 14th, 1989. Babies generally take about 9 months to go from point A to point birth, so would this be possible? Well, Michael Jordan did indeed play the Houston Rockets early on in 1989. However, they played at Houston on February 3rd, which would mean Jimmy would have been born in just 7 months and 2 weeks. That would have made him a premature baby, and there is no proof that he was one. That has never been mentioned. However, remember the tip that Owens received. That tip stated that these events took place in 1988, which would make sense because if Jimmy was conceived in December, 9 months later, boom, he would be born in September. And would you look at that? The Chicago Bulls actually beat the Dallas Mavericks in Dallas on December 3rd, 1988. Dallas is just a 3.5-hour drive to Houston, and it would make sense that
He finna drive 3.5 hours to
because of their reputation for having great,
unless he has to play Houston right back to back. I don't think so.
Happened to have a 3-day break in between games after this Dallas game, so there was certainly time for Jordan to make his way to Dallas and possibly make Jimmy Butler in the process. So there we have it. That is the full story with all of the supposed evidence and hearsay attached, which means now comment down below what you believe, and as for me, I'll give you a second.
Okay, so I don't know. That sound off. Okay, let me make sure I remember we was at the 7:30 mark. So he said it was a 3-day break between games. First off, he had to fly into Utah, from Utah into Dallas. So ain't no telling when they left for that. But they had to go back to Chicago for Boston. It don't make sense. Like it's like I said, it's cool like to make the little conspiracy, but nah, bruh. 3 hours, bro. to go get some coochie one time and then you got a kid. No, I don't think he was that damn stupid. I don't know, man. I don't know. Jimmy ain't made no effort to it. Jimmy mama ain't said nothing, so I don't know. I highly doubt it. It's just once he started talking about the days in between, it just sounded weird because Mike was so especially around that time, Mike's so dedicated to like hooping and becoming the greatest that taking a drive that long, I don't think he would have did that. I'm just saying.
In Dallas on December 3rd, 1980. Dallas is just a 3.5-hour drive to Houston.
Oh shit, I'm tripping. I'm supposed to go to the 7:30 mark. My bad, y'all.
And okay, it's time for my opinion. Personally, I think that this is almost definitely a false story, although it is an interesting concept.
Okay.
Now, the main reason why this story just does not make sense to me is that if Michael Jordan really was Jimmy Butler's dad, wouldn't his mom at least tell him? I know in this theory / rumor that she was paid to
facts,
but it is
especially
to think that a mother would really keep the identity of a child's father from him if she knew. With that said, Jimmy's mom,
especially if he's famous or got a name.
13, so maybe she is that type of mom, but even if that is the case, why would she suddenly go silent when the payments stopped? That makes absolutely no sense at all. Wouldn't she just then threaten to expose Michael Jordan so that she could still keep getting money? And if Jordan did not respond to those threats, well, she then could have actually exposed him, become famous, and written a book and got on talk shows and all of that. She could have made a lot of money out of this situation, and she just did not. And speaking of money, raising Michael Jordan's secret baby certainly seems like it would get you more than just enough money to get by. Jimmy was raised in a very poor situation, and if his mom really was paid off, I think they would have had a nicer life, at least in terms of what money can buy. Not to mention, Jimmy seems like a pretty smart guy. I'm sure he asked around when he was a child as to who his father is, and in all likelihood, he just doesn't want to be associated with a man who abandoned him when he was a baby. That makes perfect sense to me, and it fits in with Jimmy Butler's character. When it comes down to it, it is not only hard for me to believe, but impossible for me to think that Jimmy would look at Michael Jordan and the extremely rich lifestyle that Jordan had, then look at the horribly poor childhood he himself had to endure, and not have anything but probable hatred for Mike if he was Jimmy's father. That would be completely understandable, but here we see Jimmy and Jordan at Mike's camp. They are having a shooting competition here, and it certainly does not seem like Jimmy has any hard feelings towards Mike. It appears that they are perfectly fine. As for the fact that they are similar, well, there are whole websites dedicated to celebrity lookalikes, and those people are not related. It's just a coincidence. That is in all likelihood what this is too. So at the end of the day, while this would for sure be one of the craziest stories the NBA has ever seen, I also think that this is one of the biggest stretches of a conspiracy the NBA has. So with that in mind, I do want to give a huge shout out to Jimmy Butler and everything that man has achieved. He went from being homeless as a teenager to an NBA All-Star and is now the leader of an NBA Finals team. He is the definition of what hard work and resilience can get you in this life. He has my ultimate respect. Thank you guys for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you also keep in mind this is just a conspiracy. It is supposed to be—
when the video go pixelated, that's not me. That's his video.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like. Again, it helps me out a ton. And if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe and turn post notifications on so you never miss a video. If you're already subscribed, thank you so much for supporting. You're awesome. We all know it. And as always, have an awesome day, guys. And cue that music.
Anyways, stop it before we get to something else that I'm not trying to hear. But like I said, going into this video, I already knew. Like I said, I already was saying it, but just based on the stuff that I knew, which he talked about, everything I already knew about. So it was like, yeah, shit just didn't make sense. Especially when you start talking about the schedule and a 3 to 3.5 hour drive. That's too fucking long, bro. Especially if I'm always dedicating to my craft to be better and better and better and make sure I stay in shape. No. No. But like I said, like I normally say, leave a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new. Make sure you turn on post notifications so you see when I upload these wonderful reactions for you, as well as vlogs and challenges when I do them. But it's Jeremy from Smith Family TV. I'm out, man. I'll see y'all next time.